we do actually feel the entire like room space, high clearance.
Wow, this car looks really nice. This is the Xpeng G6. Today we're taking a look at the Xpeng G6. This is one of the new Chinese cars that have come out in Malaysia over the past few weeks. And when I saw this one online, I was like, yeah, I need to check this out because I really like the look of it. The styling is really nice. Some people say it looks like the Model Y, and from some research, apparently the designer and a company head pretty much use the same footprint, the same dimensions as the Model Y when they're thinking about building this car. So let's go take a look at this car and see what it's all about. On top you have the daytime running lights, and lower down the bumper you have the headlights, which is a pretty decent design on this vehicle, and I actually kind of like the way they laid it out. The color on the silver kind of give that standout look, you know, that all black look up front. And I think this is the color that we're probably going to go for, but we'll leave that story for another time. I have to say, when I saw this car, man, the side profile looks really nice. Some people say it looks like the Model Y. I don't know, I just prefer this look to the Tesla. I think overall Xpeng did a really good job on this car. I wish it was maybe a little bit longer for some more trunk space. And you know, let's take a look inside the trunk and see what we're talking about back here. The cargo room is actually quite decent. It's not as big as a Tesla, but as far as usable space below the cargo cover, it's pretty nice. And it comes with a floor mat as well, which is kind of cool. What I did notice is that there's some space between the back of the seat and the cargo cover. And of course, this is because the rear seats can actually tilt back. There's some ISOFIX connection on the back of the seat. And underneath the floor, there's a bit of storage area. I don't think you can fit a big suitcase, but you have your charging cable, mobility kit, and first aid kit underneath there, which is kind of nice to have in a car. And I believe that's the emergency triangle there as well. The wheelbase on the Tesla and the G6 is pretty much the same. Rear seat space looks, I would say, quite similar. What I did notice is that the rear seat in this car does tilt back a bit, and there's a control. You can click that to go forward and back, which is pretty nice. I like how the seats are laid out here. The headrest feels comfortable inside this car. I like this little metal thing they put back here to make it look a bit nicer, more upscale. The armrest has the cup holders in the front, which I kind of prefer rather than having them on top. The materials actually feel quite luxurious, and it does have two USB-C ports in the back, and there are controls for the air vents, which is really nice. All in all, it's a really good space to be. I like how it looks inside this car. As far as space is concerned, when I'm sitting in it, the other thing is my leg. You can see it sits pretty well. And as far as my feet, there is enough room underneath the seats. Yeah. I would say this is top pick for me right now. Everybody say it's a Tesla Model Y competitor. And as far as room, it kind of reminds me of being in the Tesla Model Y. Because at one point we were considering buying one in the States, but we didn't because it was crappy. A lot of paint mismatch, panel mismatch in the air, in the inside as well. A bit of speaker rattle. It was just really annoying. Oh, one of the things. In a Tesla, on one side, I can put my hand in between the glass and the panel cover and feel the wires on the inside. That was like a big turn off. So that made us never get the car. You know, we still kind of consider because one of our buddies had it, but when we started seeing all the little issues inside of it, when we were to look at the ones for ourselves. I mean, his had mismatched panels on the outside, and bumper was mismatched with the paint and the body. It was really annoying. So yeah, they were supposed to be getting better, but the ones that they had at the store definitely wasn't better. So we passed on it. All right, so for my tire support, and it's not all the way up there, but it's pretty good because of the space that you have for the leg room. You can slide your feet underneath the seat in front of you, which gives you even more space. And as far as the interior space, it looks really nice up front, and we're gonna go take a look at that next. There's no heads-up display in this one, but dual cup holders, really nice. It's hard plastic up top here with some kind of rubber coating. It feels nice. The really top section here is, I don't know, it's look like kind of an Alcantara, but not really sure what it is. As far as the door, I like how it's laid out. There's this button that you push and it unlocks the door and you push the door open. It has real window switches, soft touch materials on the upper and on the lower portion of the door. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not soft touch on the lower portion where the speaker is, but in the center section here, yeah, these soft touch plastics. I'm not really a fan of the speaker grill by Cloth, but hey, it is what it is. Let's check out the front cabin space. The windows on the cars are frameless, in case I forgot to mention that. If you've had a car with a frameless window, if they're not sealed properly, they can let in some wind noise, but thankfully this car does not. The speaker grills are cloth covered. I would have preferred metallic. And just like in the back, you do have physical controls. The front seats have that same silver trim around them. So does the cup holders and that area where the phone chargers are. And you do get two of them, which are vented, so you can charge two phones and cool them at the same time. And down below, there's some USB chargers as well. The seats are perforated, and you do get cool seats, which is great. But as far as controls is concerned, they don't have all the controls on the seats, only the tilt and the seat movement. I wish it was a 8-way or 10-way, so you can adjust the bottom cushion in the front and the back, but all you get is a lift. All right, so let's move around to the side of the car. The charge port is here on the rear right flank. It's actually able to be opened manually or electronically, but they did mark a spot on it and where to press. I had to call the salesman over, and after a few attempts, we finally got it open. The system here is just like in the US, where you have your AC on the top and DC connection when everything is connected. So it's a CCS1 or CCS2 port. On the driver's door, we got a full complement of controls. And down below, there are the speaker grills, which is in plastic and also that cloth covered material. Not sure why, but you know, as far as the driver's side is concerned, I like the fact that they do have a display for the driver. Doesn't have a heads-up display, but that's okay. The steering wheel has some controls on it, which is pretty nice, more than what they have on the Tesla. And I have to say, I like the perforation and the thumb rest on the steering wheel. Also, the screen is pretty nice. The steering wheel on the car is manually adjustable, which is a bummer. As nice as it looked, I was hoping it has power steering, but it does not. The reach and rake is actually pretty decent on this vehicle and allows me and my wife to find a pretty good driving position after adjusting. Mirror adjustment can be done from the screen. You have an option in there to tilt the windows down, and you can fold the mirrors automatically after locking the vehicle. And then you can make adjustments from the steering wheel once you've selected the mirror. You use the thumb wheel up and down to move the mirror up and down, and you use the arrow keys to bring them either closer to the vehicle or push them out from the vehicle. Up top on the dash, there's a couple speakers up there, and there's also this mesh material. I don't think there's any speakers inside there, but I'm not sure why they do it, but hey, it's their design. They can do what they want to do, but I wish, you know, they would have stuck a heads-up display there. As we move up top, you'll see there's a frameless mirror, and there are controls for the light as well as your blinkers, SOS, and I guess the battery to turn off the power. The sunroof on the car is pretty massive. They say it should manage up to 85% of the heat. The G6 is a pretty fully equipped car. It has heated front and rear seats plus heated steering wheel. In addition, it also has cool seats up front. You can activate the climate control system and the cool seats through the screen, in addition to the heated seats and heated steering. This is typical of most electric cars today, where most of the features are built into the head unit. I wanted to see what the car was set up for, so I went to check the drive modes to figure out what kind of settings can be changed. You have the standard mode settings, but then you also have changes for the regeneration, power steering, and power response, but sadly there was none for the suspension system. I think that's a big bummer. That's something they should add to this car. My wife wanted to see this in action, so we went outside with a salesperson to see it.
And it gives you in centimeters how close you are to the vehicle.
One of the cool things I realized is that as you get closer to an object, it reads out the distance in centimeters.
Comes with the ultrasonic sensor.
Yeah, I saw those.
Now I have to say the car performs very well in how quickly it can park into parking space.
The camera is not only 360, it comes with a 540.
Okay.
So it will sense the distance to make sure it's parked properly in between.
In between the lines.
So
Okay.
check from this area.
Both
It's like
sides.
equal. What do I say for the 540? It's much wider.
Ah, yes.
And it's also come with a transparent chassis.
Yeah.
Overall, it will be very smooth.
The ride in the Xpeng G6 was really very good, and I have to say I like the car. I mean, the space, the comfort levels, the equipment inside of it. Sure, there's some things I would have liked, but for what it has and the pricing, oh, that's what I forgot to mention. The price for the G6 is going to be 165,000 ringgit for the standard range version, which is about 38,000 US dollars, and the long range version is going to be 185,000 ringgit, which is about $42,000. Now, that being said, the cool thing about the cars is that both of them come pretty well equipped. There are no options. The only difference between the cars are the battery and the range. That's it. I want to thank you all for watching the video. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.